All right, everybody, we're about at time. It's 10:29 and 30 seconds. So if you're able to put your camera on, you can. Get yourself comfortable. Good to see everybody. Our my Zoom updated, and I guess it got rid of the waiting room, so everybody got to come in early. So do me a favor. On the bottom of the screen, it says participants. Click that, and go ahead and give me a green check for yes or a red X for no if you prefer like not having a waiting room. Like green check as in like I'd rather just show up and okay, basically the answer is there. Okay, great. So we'll all try to do that from now on. The only reason why I would do the waiting room um, is because I have to keep track of who shows up late. So it can be a little bit challenging to do that when there's not a waiting room. But I'll do my best, and we'll kind of play with it, and we'll see how it goes. But I know that's a little bit easier to have you come in early. You can test your audio, you can test your video. It eliminates a little bit of stress. So good to see everybody. Happy Monday morning. It's just so exciting for so many reasons. It's Monday. It's the first day of Excel. There's just so much to be excited about. So let's do a little icebreaker question to start the day off. Let's see here. How about what what is the most underrated place to visit in New York City in your mind? What place have you think a lot of people don't know about this place, but it's actually really cool? What would you say the answer is? Because I always like to explore a new place. Washington Heights, great answer. Williamsburg. I think everybody kind of knows about Williamsburg. My house, FT Taunton. What's that, Rahul? I never heard of this. Fort.
Uh, Good morning, guys. I figured I should just come off mute
Yeah.
instead of typing. But Fort Totten is this park out by me. It's it's right by the Dogs Neck Bridge. It's a park that stretches under it, and it has one of those pathways that stretch out into the water that's made out of a rock, like a bunch of big rocks, and you walk on it. You can go to the end. A lot of people go on it to fish, or they just walk on it.
Yeah.
So it's it has a dog park too, so it's nice.
Wow, that sounds really nice. Okay, I'll have to check that one out for sure. Rooftops, okay, good. Atlas Mall. Actually, Gavin, where's Atlas Mall? Is that what borough?
That's in Queens, I think. It's like 15 minutes away from my house. But it kind of like every time I take my friends there, it kind of feels like it's not even in the city because it's so like nice and clean and I don't know,
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, finding a clean mall in a city is not easy, is it? So I'll have to check out Atlas Mall in Queens. That sounds like right in my alley. Very cool. Governor's Island has come up a couple times. And Moses, where's Little Mexico in Queens? What part of Queens is that in?
It's been so long, I can't remember exactly. All I remembered, like most of it is under a train line,
Okay,
following under a strip of a train line. Yeah, but like it's like shop all from that culture, all the shops, all the
awesome.
people, like really authentic food too.
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Mexican food is probably my favorite cuisine in the world. Like I would eat Mexican food all day, every day. I love it. It's the best. So, thanks, Moses. I'm definitely gonna check that spot out. One thing that hasn't come up yet, I'm a big fan of Randall's Island. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. That's a park in between Manhattan, Queens, and the Bronx. And like nobody really ever goes there. Like I go over there almost every day for like a walk or a bike ride, and maybe I'll see like 10 people over there the whole time I'm there. Yeah, it's a very nice walk. It's very quiet. It's a nice place to go to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle. Roosevelt Island also is very nice. The tram is very nice. So yeah, excellent. Amna, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fort Wadsworth.
Oh, cool. Where's is that? That's uptown, right?
No, actually it's not. It's under the Verrazano Bridge on the Staten Island side.
Oh, I've never been there. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
check.
check it out. Like that, you could like walk under the bridge, and then there's this whole side park, and then like you could see the fort over the battlefield and everything, and it's so cool. It's like great for a history lesson and just for like a tour around the park. So many
Yeah.
people go there for jogging and whatnot.
Awesome. Fort Wadsworth, Staten Island. Awesome. Cool. And while you're off mute, you are our assistant instructor today. So can we go ahead and give her a clap for taking on this important and task of leading us fearlessly today? All right. So I have to apologize. I'm a little sick, so I'm going to be coughing and sniffling a little bit today. So if I just, walk out of the room, Amna is in charge. So that's the role that comes with being an assistant instructor. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Why'd you join Year Up? And, just something uniquer about who you are.
Okay. I'm Amna. I joined Year Up because I really wanted to move out for college, but my family didn't want that. So we had like some troubling views on that. And I'm like, you know what? No one wins. I'm not going to college. And then so I started looking for what?
You're off mute there. Sorry, what was the last thing we heard was that your family wanted you to go to college, and
No, they
did not want you to go to college, but you wanted to.
I wanted to move out. They're like, no, go to a college nearby. Don't move out. I'm like, you know what? No one wins.
So then you decided to join Europe instead.
Yeah, I'm like, let me like find an alternative. Then I came across Europe, so then I'm like, okay, let me join. And here I am.
Awesome. And what's something like interesting or unique about you?
I recently bought a little tiny children's skateboard, and I've been trying to teach myself. My family laughs at me, but like, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get there.
That's so cool. Okay, so you just like got it for something to like do.
Yeah, I
for
got it
fun.
below. I'm like, this is cute, and I'm gonna try. Either skateboard breaks or I break my bones, one or the other. Let's go.
Well, very cool. We have a lot of skateboarders in our group. I feel like that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but like, I'm not good at it. Like, I'm still learning.
Awesome. Well, we're really happy to have you today. Thank you for being our assistant instructor. I'll be relying on you quite a bit today as we dive into our class on Introduction to Excel. So just to give you all a quick framework of kind of what's happening in the next few weeks. It's always good to have a plan. You also made your midterms over the weekend. Thank you so much for that. So this week we're spending the whole entire week covering Excel. Next week's gonna be a little bit different. We actually have next Monday off for Indigenous Peoples Day, so there is no class that day. And then that Tuesday, I'm actually not gonna be in the office. I'll be out of the office for an appointment. So I'll be giving you some videos to watch. I'll be doing, a follow-up on that, but there will be no in-person class time. And I will say this again, because it seems to be that people just sometimes forget and they try and log on, then they're emailing me, and there is no class next Tuesday. All right, I'll say it again probably 3 more times before the weekends. So next week, we're gonna only meet on Wednesday and Thursday, and we're actually gonna be talking about building a Google site. That's gonna be the theme of those 2 days. And then actually, believe it or not, the week after that is what we call a blackout week at Year Up. And a blackout week is essentially the idea that we're not gonna pick up any new content. We're just gonna kind of go over everything that we covered in class so far, prepping for our final exams, which I'll be talking about more as they approach. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I really felt like this whole entire mod flew. I just can't believe it. But yeah, we're down to our last, few weeks. And yes, that's a good point. Your other professors are still in class. Do not skip their class on Tuesday. I'm the one who's gone. Everyone else is still here, but my class will not happen on Tuesday. So I don't want my colleagues emailing me saying, why didn't so-and-so show up? They said you didn't have class all day. Just my class. Their classes are still on. All right. So we'll explain that later. So yes, no class at all on Monday. Yeah. Thank you, David. The whole site is shut down on Monday. It's a holiday. All right. Let me share with you all. Let me see if I can find it.
So quickly. Sorry, Eric. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, so the Monday we have off for everybody. That's a holiday.
Yes.
And then Tuesday, school is in session, but just for your class, we will not be present.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
we are still in session on Tuesday. I will be out of the office on Tuesday. I'll follow us all up in an email with all the details. I'll provide you a video to watch and probably a discussion board to engage one another in the contents of the video. But there will not be a Tuesday meeting at 9 a.m. There will not be a 9 a.m. class on Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you for the confirmation.
But your other instructors will be holding classes. And then what happens after that is we have Mod 2. Mod 2 is project management. So we will no longer be doing intro to computers. We'll be spending the next 7 weeks doing project management, which is my favorite subject, and we'll deep dive into that quite a bit. Then following that is what's called Mod 3, and that is advanced Excel. So this week, we're dipping our toes in. We're gonna learn the real basics. We're gonna be talking about building a budget. We might do a little bit with data visualization if time permits. But between now and Thursday, it's Excel. Next week, Monday, no class. Tuesday, no my class. Wednesday, Thursday, Google site. Week after, blackout week, recapping everything we've learned, and then our finals. And project management, Majida is already ahead of the curve. She's already asking, what is it? We'll talk about that when it gets here. But basically, it's the idea of how do you manage a short-term task at work, okay? So like imagine, for me, if I was gonna be delivering a workshop on how to facilitate a Zoom session, that is not a regular part of my job, but it's a project that I've been tasked to do. How would I manage that project? And that's a pretty easy one to do because it's just me by myself. But imagine that if like myself and Majida and Ashley Ross and Hannah Holmes were all put on a team to do it together and we had a month to accomplish it. How do we execute on that project well? And we're gonna spend 7 weeks talking about that. And believe it or not, a lot of your internship sites, the number one feedback that we get is I wish the participants had more experience in project management. So for those 7 weeks, we're gonna work really, really hard. You all will be experts by the end on how to get the job done. But project management is just short-term tasks. So not like your weekly deliverables, your weekly meetings, your everyday things that you do, but things that are more short-term, whether it's a week, whether it's 6 months. That's what project management is, and how do you work together to accomplish those things. But yeah, don't worry, you're gonna hear the word project management so much, you're gonna be like saying it in your sleep come Mod 2. So I do wanna share with you all, I don't know how many of you remember this. Amna, can you see the screen or not yet?
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay, great. So when we did this, the very first class, I asked, I'm completely confident in my ability to navigate Excel, includes creating formulas, graphs, charts, and visualizations. 4 people said, I strongly agree, no problem, do it in my sleep, not an issue. 7 said, I mostly agree. I could probably do some of those things, but I'm not confident. 11 said, I'm not even sure what this means. 7 said, I mostly disagree. I'm not really sure where to begin. And 7 says, strongly disagree. I just don't know how to do any of those things. So just looking at this data, just this one pie chart, tells me and tells all of us that we have to start very slow with this, because if you look at the other ones, people felt a lot more confident in PowerPoint, in Outlook, in Word, and all that stuff. People felt a lot stronger. This was the area where people felt the most deficient, which is to be expected. Excuse me. And this is also really encouraging. Of the 35 people in this class, 24 said, I'm the most excited to learn about Excel, which is great, because this is the reality. Most of us already have some knowledge of the other tools within the Office suite, but Excel, I believe, is the most powerful tool, and I believe the most practical tool for your working life. And like I said, we have a whole entire mod, 7 weeks dedicated to Excel. So do me a favor, in the chat box, why learn Excel? Like, what's the point of it? What good is it going to serve you in the workplace? Manny says it's used in most companies. There's lots of numbers. It's input info easy. It looks like a spreadsheet. Never know when it will come up. Spreadsheets and graphs, making visuals for visual learners. You can use it for email blasts, money management. It shows data. Ashley Buffong, you say proficiency in Excel is an asset to the workplace. Can you speak to that? Like, why is it so critical, you think?
I honestly don't know the answer to why it's so critical, but I remember in college, they had a ton of workshops on Excel, just Excel, and I just figured it's just in demand right now to know.
Yeah.
And to know for the workplace.
Yeah, totally. Totally. It's key in the workplace for files. Thank you, Ashley Buffon. If you're in the money field, it's very important. Let's find the next question. Some of you are already starting to answer, which I appreciate. Like, when might you use Excel in the workplace? When might the need for it come up? Yeah, organizing data. Ashley Ross says creating reports. All right, David Torres, I'm going to put you on the spot if you don't mind.
No worries.
So, like share with me an example, and it could be, work related or personal. How does Excel help you organize data?
So let's say like if you're in a work environment and you're collecting data of let's say sales, and you have these sales that come from each client, so you want to organize clients over sales, if that makes sense. I mean, that's the only way I can put it.
Yeah. You want to organize. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah. Group work, all of the above. Samaji says payment, keep track of hours. Yeah, Christian. How do you do that in Excel? Do you have any idea?
I mean, I used to know, but I don't remember right now. But I know in my other job, they used to put on all the employees, the hours, and then the amount of that they get paid each week.
Yep, absolutely. And Ashley Ross, you're 100% right. Microsoft Office app, Excel is by far the most versatile one. There's no reason to be afraid of Excel. I promise you, it doesn't bite. It's not, mean. It's not made by the lords of the underworld. It's a powerful tool and a resource that can help you advance in your career. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is draw your attention. I'm going to put, let me get the right one on the screen. I actually want to show this one. I want to show you a blank Excel workbook, and so y'all can see what it looks like. Show all windows. Sorry, I have so many tabs open right now. There it is. All right, Amna, can you see that? A blank workbook?
You can see it.
Great. So do me a favor in the chat box. Like, what about this looks familiar? I mean, you've done Word, you've done PowerPoint, you've done, all these things. Like, what's like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. I recognize this. Yep, the top, the grid. Well, everything looks familiar. This top section up here, we call this in Word, we call this the ribbon. I mean, this is very similar to what we've seen before. Whoop, I don't know how that happened. My apologies. We call that the ribbon. So that's the same. And then do me a favor, raise your hand if you're like, I noticed something different about this that's not there in PowerPoint or not there in Word. Raise your hand. I'm going to ask Amna to call on you, and you can report out. Amna, what hands do we have raised?
Pablo?
This is numbered alphabetically and numerically. So like going down, it's 1 to 40, and then going to the side is A through Z.
Yeah.
That's not on PowerPoint.
Absolutely. Thank you. So for those who are not aware of what Pablo's saying, draw your eyes to the left of the screen. Notice how it goes down from 1 all the way down to 40. And look, if we keep scrolling, it goes all the way down as far as your little thumb can scroll. It'll keep on going. And then if you go back up, same deal across. See, it starts with A, B, C, all the way across. And then once again, as far as you could go, it keeps on going. So that's very different than PowerPoint and Word. Excellent observation. Who's next, Amna?
Hannah? Hannah, you have your hand up?
You said me? Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say like in the quick taskbar, like it has a similar things like insert and page layout and formats, but it doesn't have one for like design.
Right.
Or like Word and PowerPoint.
Yes, very good point. So it has the similarities up here, insert page layout, but there's no design function. Excellent observation. Who's next, Amna?
Jesus.
Yeah, I would say the ribbon, so specifically in the middle. So like such as format as table and then cells.
Yep.
Samaji's after.
I would say the formula section where it's the FX. Do you see it? Where it says FX. Oh, and also formula as well.
Yep. Yeah, insert the function. Yeah, you don't see that in any other platforms we use. Good point.
Amadou?
There's a plus sign at the bottom, which means you can add another sheet.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna look at that observation. So look down here, if I wanted to, you add a new sheet. So this is sheet 1, this is sheet 2. You can also double click these and rename them. So this could be, let's say, budgets, and this could be, you know, timesheets.
David?
Thank you, Amna. So in the middle, next to format as table condition formatting, what are the good, bad, and neutral? What are those for?
These right here,
Yes.
you would have to input some data first to see that. But I'm not totally sure. Does anybody know the answer to that? You can just unmute yourself. And I never actually messed with these before. Anybody who's much better Excel than I am?
Where once you actually input your data or whatnot, so I think you could actually style, like, there's some cells when like doing for companies, for example, if you're in accounting, and some of your numbers, like if you have set formulas for them, and you could actually style them, like have the cell colored red if it's below a certain number. So like if your company is like falling behind financials or something, that'll come out as red, and then some cells come out as neutral, like this break even, and then good, green would mean good, like this for that.
Oh, like it's
and the
positive.
styles is yeah, and like styles is like the design for Excel. Like it doesn't have a tab just for that.
Yeah. So what I think what Majid is saying, she's spot on, is like, so if I wanted to change the cell to look like, you know, this is a no, has a like that yellowish background, and you see how C2 now has a yellowish background. But if I press E2, I'm gonna say this is, you know, it's gonna be a heading. I can change the format or a title. So it automatically allows you the capability to do that. So yeah, if you're doing a budget, good, bad, neutral data. But yeah, it's hard to do that without any information, but we'll definitely get to that more so in advanced Excel. So yeah, good observation.
Usman, you have your hand up.
You there, Usman?
I'm fine. Like,
all right, so any more hands up, Amna?
Yeah, Samaje and David still have their hands up, so if you guys want to add anything else.
Sorry,
I was going to say what Maja just said, because my mom, she's an accountant. Well, both my parents are. So I was going to say that was the styles it was for, like budgeting and formulas.
Okay.
Basically answered it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you everybody for your responses. Thank you so much, Amna, for calling out everybody, and Majida and Samaje for helping clarify that. So here's the thing about Excel. This is kind of how it works. I know for some of you, this is very, very basic. For some of you, this is where you are. So if you notice how this is composed of all these little, you know, spreadsheet, we call each one of these individual items a cell. So if you notice how if I click on this right here, I'm clicking on I, and I'm also clicking on 6. And notice up here, it says I6, right? So whatever cell I click on, it's automatically changing the top left corner. And this is where you're gonna populate your data. And you can do it one of two ways. You can either type it down here. So let's just suppose I'm gonna put 1250. And you notice how when I type it in there, it also comes up here. You can do it up there in the formula bar, or you can do it down here in the cell. So if I could click on right next to it, I'm gonna press this is, you know, 340. So now I have these two different cells are populated. All right. So let's imagine that this is, and we'll make it simple for us. We'll say cost for lunch. All right. So it's $12.50 for my food. It was $3.40 for my drinks. Now I want to add those two up. Okay. And I can do this right here within Excel. There's one way I can do it, which is I could say, okay, equals 3.4 plus 12.5, but that gives me my answer, right? The problem with that is, what if I want the actual, what's inside the cell, as opposed to just typing in the actual math? What I do instead, and this is kind of where the magic happens in Excel, I press the equal button. This is very important. And now I'm gonna type in F4, and you see how that highlighted right there, the 1250? We all tracking with me? And now I'm gonna press plus F5. Now I have those two things together, and I press equal, and now I have $15.90. That's how much it cost. All right. Now go there and do that. Now, this is the cool thing. This is where the magic happens. What if, oh man, my drink was actually 440. I press 440. See what happened there? How it automatically updated down here? So that's how that works. So we're going to try something a little bit different today during the large group, and then we're going to send you to breakout rooms here in a few to kind of play with this a little bit. But is there somebody who I can actually give the remote control to that can show me what I just did? Repeat it back to me. You actually will have control of the screen. Just raise your hand and Amna will call on you, and I'll pass you the screen.
Usman has his hand up.
All right, Usman, I'm gonna try this. I never did it before. We'll see how it goes. Let me find your name. All right, Usman, so go ahead and move your mouse and see if it works. All right, so go ahead and what you're gonna punch in how much your lunch costs, and you're gonna create a formula to show us how you would add that up.
Put cost of lunch, or I don't need that. I could just start with the number.
Just start with the numbers. That's fine. So how much was your food and how much was your drink, and what was the total using a formula? Yeah, remember that equal sign is so important. If you don't have that, then it's not going to work. See what he's doing there? He's putting a cell, which is C3, and see how it lit up there? Perfect. He's adding the addition sign. C4, press the sensors, and you got the $16. Excellent. Usman, you're a pro. So now I have to, I don't know how to make you, I think you have to go up to the top now, Usman. There we go. Now, abort control. Wow, that's really dramatic. All right, I'm gonna send it over to Ricardo now. I'm gonna make it a little bit harder on you, Ricardo, because, you know, I'm always tough on those I care about. Ricardo, you're gonna have your lunch cost, and then you're actually gonna subtract, actually you're gonna divide it by 2 because you shared your lunch with somebody else. You have to figure out how much you both owe, how you owe each other. So type in to a cell how much the lunch was. Any cell you want. Pick a cell, any cell. All right. How much was the lunch?
Well, the lunch was, we had a pretty expensive lunch. It was $125.
Wow, you guys ate well.
Yeah. $125.
All right, now I'm gonna create a formula that's gonna split the cost in half. How would you do that? And remember, don't do 125 divided by 2 because maybe you have to add the tip later.
True. So would we do I3?
You remember the equal sign.
Oh yeah.
Don't have that equal sign, nothing works.
Equals I3.
Yep.
3. I know it's.
And it was you and one other person 8. So how are you gonna split the bill in half?
For the computer, I don't know. Does this count as?
Yep. There, now, how many people were at that meal?
2.
Press enter. Now 62.50 is what you both owe. Now, before you give up, Ricardo, hit the 125 again, because you know what, your waiter, he did a really good job. You're gonna give him a $40 tip. So now change it to 165. And then watch what happens to I4. See how it went up? Now it's 82.50. You both owe each other. See, pretty cool, huh? Excellent job, Ricardo. I'm gonna take the remote back from you. This is like playing tug of war with a mouse, you know, like I'm trying to pull it, you're trying to pull it. Usman did the same thing. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, there we go. Board control. And Moses, you have your hand up, I see. Are you ready for your challenge? All right, Moses, you have the remote control. Let's say that Moses, you went to Yankee Stadium. They were actually allowing fans in, and you bought tickets for 6 of your friends, and you and your 5 friends went, all 6 of you in total, and the tickets were $300. So put that in a cell. Wow, you guys got nice box seats, I guess. 3,300. That's fine. You can use that number. Yep, no reason to check my email down there. All right, so that's all right. Now you guys got food, of course, because you were hungry. How much do you think food cost to watch the Yankees? All right, $200, $2,000. Wow. And your friends, they weren't from New York, they're from out of town, so you had to buy them some, some swag, some caps, some jerseys. So how much did that cost on the way out? Man, I want to hang out with Moses. This guy's living the high life. All right. Now, you're getting back in the Uber, you're going back home, and your friend's like, all right, how much do we all owe you now? So there were 6 of you in total. So how are you going to divide that by 6, that total number, using a formula? And also, Moses, if you don't mind, you can come off mute and kind of explain your process for those who maybe are, because we're getting to the point now, people are probably starting to get a little lost.
Alrighty, so I'm just trying to look at the screen because it's really small on my screen.
No problem.
So from the looks of this, it says, alrighty. Let me see if I can write on this.
Yep.
Alrighty, so it should be L1.
Oh, we forgot something, Moses.
Oh, yes, the equal sign.
Yep, your best friend.
Oh, no, that's the plus sign. There we go. So it's L7. That is a 7, correct?
Your first item, which is the tickets, looks like it's L4.
All right, L4.
Yep. And then you want to
plus.
That's the equal.
L.
Hold on before you type in the next one. You have the equal sign there next to L4. You want to have equals L4 plus.
So, oh boy, this is really bad for me.
Are you doing it on your phone?
Oh no, I'm not. It's just that the display right now, the side-by-side display is just really small.
Okay. Do you want me to help you out a little bit, or you want to try to get through it?
I could use some help.
Sure. I see Rahul has his hand up. Rahul, I'm going to pass the remote over to you, and you can help. You went to the game with Moses. You all had a great time, and now it's that awkward time at the end of every night when you start figuring out who's paying for what. So how are you gonna? You got the tickets, you got the food, you got the gear, and you're splitting it 6 ways. How are you figuring that out?
All right, so we got these are the tickets, these are the food, and this is the gear, right?
Precisely.
All right, so we're gonna do 04.
Let's see how it lit
So
up.
I have a question. Can we use parentheses like we would in an equation here?
Sure, if that's gonna give us our answer.
Okay.
All right, see how they're all lit up there? So you know what he's highlighting. He's dividing that by how many people came to the game. 6. So everybody owes at the end of the night $1,133.33. Woohoo! You all had a fun time. All right. Oh man. Oh, Rahul got really generous with the swag. $10,000 in Yankee Stadium for clothes. You guys are gonna be the coolest bunch of friends hanging out in the city. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take the remote control back. Thank you all for everybody who stepped up to the plate and shared. That is really, really impressive. Shantae says because we were balling. Awesome, awesome. So what we're gonna do is this. Let me share with you a new screen, and I'm gonna have you. We're gonna take a break here in a moment, and then we're gonna do an activity. It's gonna be a stretch for some of us, but for some of us, it'll be a little bit easier. But I do want to push all of us a little bit. Is this right here? Amna, can you see the sample budget screen?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So this is a sample budget. So this is not how much money I earn. So don't think I'm living large like that. This is just one that I found on the internet. But this is two people who are living together. They have $4,000 they each earn in their regular jobs. They earn $1,200 in side hustles. They have $55 in refunds and reimbursements. So if you can see that, give me a thumbs up. I see what you're saying. That's your income. That is how much money you're earning. Okay, that's what's coming into your bank account every single week. Next to that are expenses. This is the money that you're spending every single month. I'm sorry, this is every month, not every week. So your monthly income, $4,000, $4,000, $1,255. So you add all that together, that's how much you're earning in a month. Expenses is how much you're spending in a month. So as you can see, rent, giving, savings, electricity, cell phone, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm telling you guys, this is probably the most important thing I tell you the whole entire mod. Having a budget is one of the most important things that you can do as a human. Never mind year up, never mind your career. Just having a budget is so important to stay on track. Even if your budget is much smaller than this right now. Been plenty of times in my life when it was much smaller too. But have that because it's good to know where every dollar goes. So what we're gonna do, in Schoology, you'll go to Unit 4, which is Excel. You're gonna go to Resources. And inside of Resources, you're gonna see this exact workbook called Sample Budget. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break. I want you to go into your Schoology right now. I want you to go ahead and pull up your this document so that you have it. And I want you to be able to work with it here in 5 minutes. We're gonna do a breakout. We're gonna be answering the questions on the right, and we're gonna see if any breakout group can accomplish it. So let's do 11:12. Come on back. And in the meantime, please download that document on your Schoology. It's called Sample Budget. It's on Unit 4 Excel under Resources. And I'll see you all in 6 minutes. All right, it's 11:12. If you're back to your desk, please put yourself back on screen. Do me a favor, on the right side, give me a green check if you have the sample budget in front of you, you're ready to work with it. I do want to temper this. I understand that for some of you, this is going to be really outside of your depth. You're going to be like really struggling with this breakout assignment. I want to encourage you that, listen, this is the first day of a very complex program. If you are racking your head and and getting frustrated, please don't. We're going to spend a whole entire week on this, but not only that, we're going to spend a whole entire 7 weeks on it after that. So, but I do want to stretch you a little bit. I want to kind of assess your knowledge in the area and see where you're at. We're going to spend a very short time, only about 15 minutes. I do not expect any group to get through all 5 questions that are asked in the on the side there. If anyone does, I'd be really impressed. But try to get through at least 1 or 2. How are you able to figure out this using the formulas that Excel offers? And then when we get back, we'll sort of assess where the pain points were, and then we'll pick up where we left off on tomorrow. Any quick questions before we go into breakout rooms? All right, may the odds be ever in your favor. See you all.
Hi, Eric. Can I ask you a quick question?
Of course. What's up?
So I actually, well, I got a certification for Microsoft Office.
Cool.
And I have like a whole bunch of like PowerPoints for Excel. I know
Nice.
you asked if like anyone had like tips or something.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching. So is it okay if I send you the PowerPoints I have so you can see them?
Yeah, that'd be excellent. I would love that. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Okay. So I'll send that today. Did you
Perfect.
get my email that I sent you?
I didn't have a chance to look at it because we had Monday morning kickoff, but it's about your midterm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome, Ashley. I'll take a look now. See ya.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Not many of you are smiling. Might have been a challenging assignment, but that's okay. It's good to be stretched. So let's try to, in the next 18 minutes or so, get through all 5 questions. We're still waiting for a few more people to return. Can anyone give me a green checkbox if they got all 5 done? Let's see here. All right, one group did. Excellent. All right, looks like we're all back. So let's do this. With the hand raise feature, to answer question number 1, using a formula, what % of our household income did the family use? So I saw Majida's hand first. Majida, do you want to share your screen and show us the formula that you would use to figure that out?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
It's still loading, but yeah, it's popping up. Yep, we got it.
Okay, got it. So for you, I just put all of them down here because I didn't want it to be scattered everywhere. So using a formula, what % of our household income did the family use? So in order for me to actually get the percentage, I actually had to do like the total sum of what their monthly expenses were, and then I needed the total income for the actual income itself. So I applied the sum formula to first their income, and then I did the same thing but for their monthly expenses. And then over here, all I did was for the percentage, I did the part over whole. And then after doing so, it gave me 0.97. And then after that, I just went in and pressed the percent number, and then it estimated to the upper percentage.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. You got it perfect. I know some people struggled with this one because they would do the first part, but they would never do the percentage part. Do me one small favor. While we have the screen up, Majida, press on B6 for me. Now you see what her formula is up there. It says equals sum B2 ... B5, and now go up there and click on that. Now see how it all lit up there? The 4,000, 4,000, 1,255 lit up. This is one workaround that I did not mention during our at-large conversation that her team was aware of, is that you have the ability within Excel, if you went to grab multiple pieces of data or multiple pieces of cell, there's a streamlined way of doing it. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. There's a streamlined way of doing that, and that's this way that they did it, which is excellent. So you could do it equals, B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5, and you'll get the same answer. But ultimately, if you have, 80 lines of cells, that would be really tedious. This is the efficient way to do it. Excellent. All right, you can stop sharing the screen, Majida. Thank you. So you answered 1 and 2, but using the formula, how would you add the total income and what percentage of the income did you use? Number 3, using a formula, how could this family add their groceries, the restaurant, and their fun expenses into one cell? Does somebody want to raise their hand and show me how you would do that? How would you take those 3 and put them into one cell? How would you add them all up? All right, let's see. Hannah, do you want to explain how you would do that? Using the formula, how would you add groceries, restaurants, and fun into one cell? Do you have are you sharing your screen or somebody else from your group sharing? Oh, here we go. We got it.
So when we did our answer, we put the formula right
hold on, your screen's still loading.
next to it. So I put, sorry.
All right, we got it.
So we put the formula right here. Sorry, it's kind of cut off, but it would have been D9 plus D10 plus D12 and we got this outcome right here, 1,000.
Okay, excellent. So you did the first part of the formula, but if you put an equal sign in front of D9, it'll do it for you automatically.
Yeah, I did both. So I wrote the
Oh,
formula
okay,
out so you
okay.
can see it, and then the numbers right here.
All right, so yeah, there it is. Thank you. So if you press 1,000, as you guys can see, look at the top of her screen where it says equals D9 plus D10 plus D12. And she chose those three because that's the three cells in which those expenses lie. And that's how she got the total, which is $1,000. Excellent. Thank you. So just so for clarity's sake, Hannah, you can stop sharing your screen. When we start quizzing you on these, what has happened in the past is I'll ask a question like, well, I just asked for Hannah, like, show me the formula that you use. And some people will just put down $1,000. It's like, well, that doesn't help me, obviously, because I don't know how you got that. So make sure that you always put your formula, just like what Hannah did. She did it perfect. So thank you so much. Okay, number 4, using a formula, how much money does this person have left over after paying all their expenses? Rahul, do you have your hand up from earlier, or are you able to answer that one as well?
I can do it.
Excellent. Let's hear it.
Let me share. Okay. After how much is the leftover after paying all the expenses, correct?
That's right. No, yeah, number 4 there.
Okay, so for this one, I already have the formulas for the totals here. I have the formula for the total here, and I didn't know about the sum method, but now I do, so I'll definitely apply that.
Yeah.
Same for this. And so over there, I just put in B6 minus B15 right here. That should be the formula just for the difference.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting because like your formula up top looks different. It's like B2 plus. Oh, it's because you were clicking on it and showing us. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yep, that's totally fine. But yeah, what you did was spot on. I did the same work you all did when you were in your breakouts. It would be equal B6 minus D15. And the nice thing about doing it that way is that if your expenses change, which they will, it'll automatically update. Last one, if you can raise your hand if you know how to do this one. Using a formula, what is the average cost of expenses? Luis?
Okay, let me just share my screen real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we got it. Thank you.
Well, this is the formula right here. You just do average parentheses D3, then I have no idea what that punctuation mark is called.
I just call it dot. I just call it dot dot. If someone has a more sophisticated term, let me know.
Yeah, you could also do D15. Let me put it. D15 and divide that by, because there's 12 expenses here. You could also do it like that. Is that all right?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, cool.
Yep, you got it. And that's exactly how you do it. That's the average expense. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what that term means, the average, it means you took all of these expenses you had, like what would they all shake, what's the middle of all of them, what would they all shake out to be? And Ashley Ross told us that the more technical term, instead of saying the dot dot, is the through. So if you're doing the formula that Luis just showed us, I'll pull up my screen. You can see I did the exact same thing he did. Amna, can you see that? Or someone else? Luis?
Yeah, I can see
Okay,
that.
so I did the same thing he did. So equals average, and then D3 through D14. So, and if I click on it up here, you see how it lights up blue, and that's how I get the average. One other thing is that for those of you who are kind of unfamiliar with formulas and the magic that they offer, so imagine I went up here to formulas, and these are auto sums. These are the most kind of important ones. So if I hit sum right here as I'm pressing on D15, it does it for me automatically, and that's the total. If I did average, done. If I did count the numbers, you could do that. I don't know why you would do that for a budget. What's the max? $3,500. That was the most expensive thing that this person has. Their rent. What's the minimum? $80. Their car insurance. So stop sharing my screen. All right, we're down to our last 10 minutes. Moses, do you have your hand up from earlier? Or do you have a question?
I actually had a question. I was wondering, are you able to highlight multiple items and then push the equation button for like the sum, average, or percent?
You are able to do that. Does anybody want a demo for all of us? That's a really great question. How do you do that? Like, you're not going to have, cells that are like aligned with each other, but you just want to choose particular cells. Who knows how? David Torres, you know how to do that?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
I was gonna ask you if you have after hours for like a more brief description of Excel.
Oh yeah, of course. Majida, do you want to demo how to do that? Moses' question. So what he's asking is if you want to grab multiple cells. If I understand correctly, Moses, you like want to grab like different cells and add them together. How do you do that? Is that right? You're on mute. You're on mute, Moses. We can't hear you, Moses.
I'm sorry. Either like highlight like multiple ones that are in the same row and just press the sum button, or like highlight multiple ones that aren't in the same row.
Yeah. Show us how to do it, Majida. You seem to know your way around this pretty well. So how would you answer Moses' question?
Yeah, you would just, let's just say if you wanted to do some, you just, oh no, don't press it. You get put in parentheses, and then if you want to like get one from over here, and then you just want to put a comma, the comma is always necessary or else it won't go through. And then you just simply click wherever you want or whatever number you want.
Nice.
Can
you do that again?
What happened?
Can you show it one more time, Majida, please?
So you just double click on the cell, put in equal, do sum if you want to add or whatever, subtract. It works for anyone. Always put the parentheses, like whatever cell or number you want to add. For example, if you want to do like giving, and then always put the comma because it won't work without the comma. And then if you want to see how much you ate outside, and then if you want to do anything else, comma, and then do car insurance, and then close parentheses, and then press enter.
Yeah, so what Majida just did, she showed us what those three cells are combined. And she was able to do that by the equal sign, the sum, which is what she wanted to do, the math she wanted to do, the parentheses, and she grabbed the three cells. And what she brought up, very important, make sure the comma goes in between each one or else it won't work. So thanks, Majida. You can stop sharing your screen. We got 5 minutes left. I just want to make sure we field time for any other questions. That's a great question, Moses. David asked about office hours. I'm pretty sure I have office hours today. Let me double check my calendar. It's weird. I should. Yeah, 3:15. Yeah, I'll be in office hours at 3:15. So I'm available for that. And also, like I said, like we're gonna just dip our toe in the water this week. We are gonna spend 7 weeks in Excel come Mod 3. So we're really gonna get deep into the weeds by then. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask the amazing Amna to read the deliverable. We're gonna actually be watching a video. I'll explain more after she reads it, and then we'll talk more about it in detail. So Amna, if you're able to, can you read that just put in the chat box?
Okay. In Schoology, watch through video on Tuesday morning. Be prepared to discuss key concepts from inside of it. Write in discussion board 5 most helpful tips by Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Respond to at least 2 postings, 100 words by Thursday, 11:59 p.m.
Thanks, Amna. So this is what's going to happen is there's a video that I want you to watch. It's long. It's like 30 minutes long, but it really breaks down the basics of Excel. I mean, much better than I could. This is a person that is really proficient. A lot of the questions that you might have, he'll explain. And what I want you to do is you don't have to fill out anything on the discussion board tonight, but I want you to at least come to class tomorrow with like a general, like I watched it, I know what's going on. That we can be prepared to discuss it in more detail. And then by tomorrow night, have your 5 discussion board postings. I just don't want to make you all with everything else you have going on, watch a 30-minute video and do a discussion board by tonight. I think that's a little bit too much, but just be prepared to at least begin the conversation through it for tomorrow, and then respond to 2 people by Thursday. So that's what's due. I think that video, I mean, I've watched it several times. It's very helpful. It's in the hyperlink in Schoology. So please take some time this afternoon, this evening, to just watch through that so you're prepared for the conversation tomorrow. Any other questions before we log off, folks? You can raise your hand on the side.
Yes, Eric, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So for the office hours, you're gonna send me a link, or
It'll be
join the same link?
It's this link. Yeah, it'll be this link. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, folks? So like I said, I understand that this is all new for a lot of you. This is the area where you feel like you have the least proficiency. This week will be an intro. We'll go into more detail mod 3. Please do not beat yourself up if you're not an expert at this, and just have a growth mindset. Like, you can learn this, you can master this, then this will help you advance in your career. All right, so take time to watch that video, and I'll see everyone tomorrow morning at 9. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Eric.